I want to talk about the setup, and you guys, you're getting lackadaisical and you're starting to lose deals that you shouldn't be losing. Okay. There are deals that you guys are losing because I'm messaging you. I'm reading the comments. I'm looking at the posts. I'm listening and I'm interpreting the questions you are asking. Okay. And I want to remind you, when you guys have an issue in your sale, okay, and I'll just diagram this so I can show you, okay? When you guys have an issue with your sale, if you're missing, if there's a step, like if you're not closing, because I hear a lot of people, they're talking about, I'm not closing this. What do you guys do? What do you say to this? I couldn't close this guy. This. You guys think it's the close. It ain't the fucking close, okay? It's not the problem. Let me show you something really cool, okay? Let me show you this little diagram. And I'm gonna just show you, and this is the same thing. We talked about this in version 1.0 of the training. Okay. We talked about this with ads. So I'm gonna make a little diagram. Okay. Okay. So this is the sales cycle. Let me see if I can move my screen so you guys can see this. This is my artwork here. Okay. So if this was a little circle here, we got prospecting at the top. Okay. And then let's say sending leads. Okay. And then we got the, let's see, setup, and then we got the close. This is just basic, okay? So we got prospecting, we got sending the leads, we got the setup, and we got the close. And I know I missed a couple of steps from the training, but I'm just talking about the sales steps, okay? So if we got these steps right here, all of you guys, I see the questions, I see the comments and everything. You guys are losing deals, right? And you guys think you're doing something wrong in the close. Maybe I'm not following the script. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I'm not saying this. And you guys think that if you have this fancy one-liner, or you get better at overcoming objections, or these things, it's going to increase your close. Let me tell you something, okay? If you have a problem, okay, with the close, it's usually not a problem with the actual close. If you've got a problem here, if you're losing deals here, it's usually one of the steps before, okay? So if you guys are not closing, it's usually because you're skipping the step right before. Sometimes it has to do with a step or two back, okay? But what I'm seeing is if you guys are having a problem with the close, you need to look at your setup. And you also need to look at how you're sending your leads and how you're prospecting, because there's a good chance you're fucking up the way you're sending the leads. You're getting lazy. You're not doing the live transfer. You're not saying it correctly. You're spooking them, whatever, or you're just not prospecting the right people. But from what I've seen from how, like, training people, doing thousands of these calls, doing calls every week, just like you guys in actual lead gen calls, you guys have an issue right now. And most of you guys are not closing deals because you're fucking this up. Okay. This is where all the fucking magic happens. If you guys noticed, in the training in version 1.0, and you're going to notice this in version 2.0, I spent all this time on I spent all this time on the setup, like tons of time on the setup. And then we get to the close setup, and I think all you guys think it's going to be this long ass module. And I'm like, get on the call, follow the script, fucking close the deal, right? Like, that's about what it is. This, my friends, is where the deal is closed, okay? And I want to remind you, before I drop the link, because I'm going to have a couple of you come on, I want to remind you guys that if you do the setup correctly, your close will be easy. If your close is not easy, you're not doing the setup correctly, okay? Just like when I did door-to-door sales, I learned this very early on. When I dealt with the objections at the doorstep, okay? When I delivered my pitch and the homeowner was like, oh, we can't afford it. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And they started to hit me with objections. If it was easy to get in the door, it was hard to close at the table, right? I knew the objections were coming. If the doorstep was hard and I overcame the objections and I got in the house still, I was closing that deal, okay? So it's the same thing. You guys are not going to avoid objections. You're not. Like, you're just not going to. So instead of us sitting back and playing defense, if you guys want to have easy closes, if you guys want to have 100% close ratio, like, no shit, you guys can attain that. You just need to focus on the setup. Your setup of all the pieces of the puzzle. If you can dial in your setup, that will have the greatest, that will have the like literally the most impact on your ability to close.